Hello, this is an example of how to do pivot tables for doing grouping and counts based on a request that we received yesterday. I decided to record a video for reference and so that we can share it with people who might have the same sort of questions. In this case, I made up an artificial table because I'm a baseball fan. So you've got the team ID, the position, and the player ID. So if we wanted to do a table now looking up the count of positions by team, we could select our table and insert a pivot table. So you select your data range. I already had it pre-selected, or you could just easily drag it across and select the 3 columns. And I'm going to put it in a new worksheet. Click OK. So in this case, we want each row to be a team. And if we wanted to just get the count of players, you can drag the player ID column down and it'll automatically switch to count of players. So we can see now the Blue Jays have 3, the Orioles have 3, the Rays have 2, the Red Sox have 3, and the Yankees have 4. If you wanted to then look at positions by count, or do the count of positions by team, you could also drag position down to row labels. And now you'll see for each team you'll get the team name and the position and the count. If you have a limited number of options for these values, you might also want to see those as columns. So your option for that will be to drag it up here into the column labels. And now you get a matrix of the teams by the positions and the totals. Within each of these different options, you've got the ability to go into these value field settings and choose whether you want to see the count or the sum or the average, or if you want to do calculations based on the grand total or the row total or the column total, that sort of thing. In one instance that was brought up specifically for this case, it would be a situation of the team and then the position, and then you would see each team by each position by the count. If you decided then that you didn't need to consider the team, you can just uncheck the box here and it'll remove it from the fields that are in the areas down here. The other option is to use a report filter, where you could use the team as a filter, and then you'll be able to choose it from a drop down here to filter which one you were using for your selected lookup. So there's a lot of interesting sort of ways you can summarize your data and pull your data out here. If you were looking at if those player IDs were, say, salaries, and you wanted to see the average salary, you could switch count to be average, and now you'd have an average calculation of the salaries by position by the team, which right now is a filter. So I'm going to bring team back down here in the row labels. So now by team, by position, you'd get the average for the number of people in that position. If you want to see the average and the count, you can actually bring a field down again in the values and use it as a different type of metric. So now you can have the average and the count. So yeah, that's a basic introduction to some of the neat things you can do with pivot tables.